Okay, welcome back to part two of running Ashee with multiple, with adding extra grain sizes or extra phases. You could add gas phases or fluid phases as well, but we're just going to add the solid phases. So previously we've set all the parameters we needed to in set.py, this file over here, set.py. Now we're going to change some of the other settings that we need for the simulation. So I'm still in this new folder I created, plume test phases set scenarios. So if I look at what options I have here, I'm going to go into folder 0 here. So cd folder 0, and if I look what's inside folder 0, I have a bunch of things, right? But the thing I want to look at is this thing, case settings, okay? So case settings. So I'm going to open that. Case setting. Case setting.h, that's right. Okay, so if you recall, we don't have to change too much in this case, as everything is set for us mostly from that previous file. So these empty values will populate soon enough. One thing we did have to choose was choose the atmospheric type, so I'm just going to stick with barotropic at the moment, and we'll do meteor another time. We had to choose the atmospheric temperature, so if I set this to 293, that's about 20 degrees Celsius. We also had to choose the number of processes, and that had to match from our set.py, so I think I chose it to be 5. Okay, and then everything else previously we left it as it was, right? So now, pardon me, now because we've added in a few more phases, what we need to do is account for that up here, okay? So for example, here we have two solid phases, coarse 0 and fine 0. If you recall, we also had solid 500 and solid 250 as well. We have water, we have air. Okay, and additionally we also had have to add the density of these two phases, so HRHO 500 and then 250 as well. Okay, so now that that is set, I believe that's everything we need to set in this file here. So let's save that and let's exit out of that. Okay, great. Okay, so now I want to move into the constants folder and set the thermodynamic properties. Okay, so I'm in the constants folder. Let's have a look what's inside. Again, we're not going to need to change anything in here apart from this thermo file here. So we're going to open up that thermo file. Okay, so again, as we previously had shown, we have 4 species here. We have air, we have water, we have the coarse and the fine particles, and we have some parameters or some thermodynamic properties that relate to each of these. Okay, so today we're not going to change the air or the H2O at all. We're going to focus on the solid phases. So what I need to do is add another solid phase. So solid 500 and solid 250. Okay, so we're going to need to add thermodynamic parameters for these two new solids that we've added, right? So scroll down here. We don't want to change anything in air because I think these parameters are happy. Similarly with water. Coarse particles, okay, well here we've got 1 millimeter particle diameter. So our largest particle, or our coarsest particle, is 1 millimeter in diameter. Okay, and the fine particles, well, this looks like it's about 32 microns in size. Okay, so I need to add this block for our two new particle species. Okay, so solid 500 and solid 250. So I'm just going to copy the coarse particle here. Okay, and I'm going to change the name of that to solid 500. The gas constant is always going to be 0 for the solids. The specific heat, we read it in from that set.py file as CVS, and everything else stays the same apart from these last two lines here. Okay, so we don't want to use the density of the coarse phase, we wanted to use the density we defined for the solid phase with 500 microns. Similarly, we need to change the particle size to be 500 microns, right? So let's just write that simply like so. And then we'll copy that again and do the same thing for 250. 250, the density of the 250, and the particle size of 250 microns. Okay, the last thing we need to change is nothing, because actually we're done. So everything in this file is now complete. So I believe we can close that now and exit out. Okay, fantastic. So now we've set the thermodynamic properties of our new particles. We've set their particle size and we've read it in the density. Again, we're using the barotropic atmosphere, so we don't need to change anything in the atmospheric properties. So in fact, what else do we need to do? Not too much. Okay, I'm going to start a new video.